Check. All right, everybody. I love all of you. And I did my best to write a bit of a tribute for John. Me and John have a lot of love for each other, and John loves some words. So Taco asked me to write something for Jam Witch and John's Spirit, which will be available in the next Jam Witch, but I figured I'd go ahead and it seems appropriate now. So I'm going to read something that I wrote for John, and then we're all going to send him off right with some goodness. All right, so I'm gonna read something that I wrote for John when I was asked to. So here it goes. I hope you guys had the privilege of knowing John half as well as I did, because hot damn. Every once in a while in this thing that we all call life, we come across a person that we feel an instant connection to. Someone who you feel as you've known forever. Call it a kindred spirit. Call it a synchronized partner in crime. Call it what you will, but the day that I had my first conversation with John Suntiger, I immediately tuned right into him. It was love at first laugh. So many times, so many fun times spent with John throughout the years are gems in my mind that I will forever hold on to and hang on to and cherish. The places that he took me to and the spaces that he showed me within those places. Sometimes words just fall short, but I'm going to do my best to come up with a tribute that would make John smile. My friend, my brother, my teacher, a cut above the rest. John left this mortal coil in much the same fashion that he lived his life, on his own terms. Life, little more than a spiritual schoolhouse, maybe. A place to learn, a place to study, a place to grow, and yet so very much more. John shined his light on our community, literally and figuratively, for some of the greatest years, finest moments of our lives, making each second richer, fuller, and just plain awesome, simply with his presence. Kick back, smiling, hat pulled down. Even now, in his physical absence, his light still shines brilliantly through the sadness and loss in each of us who had the privilege of knowing him. We are all forever changed by the solid, unwavering spirit that he embodied. He was a beacon of love within our loving community, a brother in mind within a family of like-minded brothers and sisters. The walking, talking, laughing, dancing, shining personification of love itself. It's who he was. It's who he is now, free of this physical realm, timeless, infinite, back up into the whole of everything. His spirit sailing through the cosmos. John was a well of knowledge, an ocean of insight, and a master of good conversation. A dull word I never heard pass through his lips. When he spoke, it burned a hole straight through all the bullshit. Through all ego and all fear, right down to the heart of things. Injustice trembled in the presence of his logic. And all things genuine and pure were immediately finer in his company. John had a way of recognizing the pain, uncertainty, and insecurity in others, and whether knowingly or not, comforted them with exactly what needed to be heard at precisely the right moment and presented in the perfect context that each situation demanded. This wasn't because John understood the trials and joys of others. He literally felt it and shared them. As I sit here thinking of John, a flood of memories come rolling in. I see him on stage, It's a bright, sunny Thursday morning in West Virginia. The festival is kicking off. That familiar frenzy of red, yellow, blue, and green tents and canopies popping up, cars pulling in. John hops off the ladder and rushes backstage in a flash. He's back in 3 seconds with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and back up the ladder he goes. He's hanging a huge white owl. This time, center of stage, the light up with his visions once the sun goes down. It looks amazing, and not even dark yet. No lights, not yet. Just that owl. Just this owl. Wings stretched, eyes wide. That owl that he designed, that he cut, that he put together, that he brought right here for all of us right now to see. To call John an old soul. Give me 1 second. This phone's acting like a bastard.
You don't have this shit memorized.
Everybody, hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! All right, give me 1 second. I gotta pull this up again. See, a lot of people have smartphones. I have a dumb phone. Just give me 1 second here.
I have a dumb brain. It's all right. That's right. You got a dumb battery. I got a dumb brain.
At least there's two of them.
I love you.
This is us waiting.
John would have laughed at this. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. To call John an old soul is like accusing the sky of being big. You could just tell that this wasn't his first time around this place. I only recently learned that John was 50 years old. 50 years. He didn't show it. That's half a century. A half a century ups and downs, lessons learned, battles fought, sparks struck, and fires lit. And the fires that he lit were many. They dot the festival grounds of our memories and light up the foggy twilight of this new dawn that we all must face without him. It's up to each of us now to carry on for him, to be the bearers of his torch, the keepers of his flame, the heirs to that magnificent love and light that he shared with all of us so graciously. John loved words. Some of the last words that he sent my way are even more powerful now than in his absence. And these words are this: I'm going to continue to believe in the impracticality that love exists in everyone's locality. Seek that out and embolden it. I'm with you in spirit. And he most certainly is and always will be. So long, brother. We love you. All right, we're going to sing a little song. We're going to need all the help we can give right here. Lay down, my dear brother. Lay down and take your rest. Won't you lay your head upon your Savior's breast? I love you, oh, but Jesus loves you the best. And I bid you good night, good night, good night. And I bid you good night, good night, good night. Lay down, my dear brother, lay down and take your rest. Won't you lay your head on your Savior's breast? I love you, oh, but Jesus loves you the best. And I bid you good night, good night, good night. And I bid you good night, good night, good night. Jerusalem just like John. Good night, good night. I remember right well, I remember right well. Good night, good night. Where the people, the children that would not be good. Good night, good night. We're walking in Jerusalem just like John. Good night, good night. I remember right well, I remember right well. Good night, good night. We're walking in Jerusalem just like John. Good night, good night. We'll remember right well, I remember right well. Good night, good night. We're walking in Jerusalem just like John. Good night, good night. We're walking in Jerusalem just like John. Good night, good night. We're walking in Jerusalem just like John.
Last but not least, can we get a big round of applause for Alan, who has been carrying out the tradition of throwing out the visuals for our dearly departed John Suntiger. God bless you all so much for coming out. Please be safe. Tip your bartender. Tell everybody about the wonderful Town Run Brewing. This was a beautiful place to gather at and share our memories. Peace be with you all.